The honourable member for Riverina and the Parliamentary Secretary.
I rise to speak on this matter of public importance, and I am going to be followed by the member for Bradfield, who was in my electorate last week, talking about the $100 million black spot telecommunications program that the coalition is putting into place, going to fix up mobile black spot problems throughout rural and regional Australia. He will be followed by the member for Hume, a good rural politician, who will also be followed by the member for Durack, representing the interests of those people in Western Australia. All good members. We heard from the Minister for Agriculture, the member for New England, talk up regional Australia. All we ever heard in the last 6 years was that side, well, they were actually over this side then, but that side of politics talking down rural and regional Australia. The only time the Prime Minister ever really cared about rural and regional Australia when there was an election looming, and she got brand new RM Williams and she came into some peri-urban centre and made some minuscule announcement which really didn't affect rural and regional Australia. It was just about the only time that she really ever cared about rural and regional. Let's compare our record to Labor's record. That we had the Asian bee incursion. The Asian bee incursion. Labor did nothing. Labor did absolutely nothing, and it took people from my electorate to go up to Queensland, to actually David Mumford, to go up and help out to eradicate the Asian bee incursion. We had the live cattle fiasco, a program on four corners, and what did the Prime Minister do next? The then Prime Minister do? She absolutely cut the live cattle trade off forthwith. Absolute shame. And then we had the Murray-Darling Basin fiasco. It took 8,000 people the first time at Griffith to protest, and then 14,000 people to get out and protest and use people power to get the Labor government to actually do something and to care about the people who grow food and fibre, rather than just let all the water go down out of the mouth of the Murray. It was an absolute travesty by that side of politics to the people who grow the food and fibre. They were treated like second-class citizens, and it took people power to bring about, and I must say, people power and Tony Abbott to say he was going to cap buyback at 1,500 gigalitres, which means that there's only 249 gigalitres to be recovered, to actually bring about some fairness and equity in the Murray-Darling Basin fiasco. Now, people in rural and regional Australia understand that you can't spend more money than you earn. I represent 4,615 farms in the Riverina, 4,615 farms, all of which are affected by your carbon tax. Your carbon tax, and on the very week that the carbon tax was introduced, Cement Australia closed its doors at Kandos. Now, it was in the member for Parkes' electorate then, but it's in the member for Hunter's electorate now. 100 jobs over 100 years that cement factory was churning it, was producing cement on behalf of Australia. And do we hear the member for Hunter complaining about those jobs? No, we didn't. Just like we didn't hear Labor members give two hoots about the farmers who have cattle, to have two hoots about the people who grow food and fibre in the Murray-Darling Basin, who I represent in the Riverina, to the honey makers, the beekeepers in Australia. They could not care less. And they might get all chirpy now. We heard the member for Perth a minute ago. I'm not quite sure how many farmers she represents. I'm not quite sure how many farmers at all. But we on this side, we represent farmers. They are the lifeblood of this nation, and they deserve better than what they cop from you, Mob. They certainly deserve better. Farmers right throughout Australia were deserted by Labor, absolutely deserted. It was an absolute disgrace what you people did to the rural and regional Australia, and particularly to farmers. But they haven't forgotten. They haven't forgotten, and they won't forget either next time there's an election. They will. They will vote for a government. They will vote for a coalition, a national Liberal coalition, who actually provides hope, who provides surety, who provides confidence, and who gets on with the job of paying back the debt. $1 billion a month in interest alone to fix up the mess that we inherited from your mob. That would build a hell of a lot of hospitals, a hell of a lot of schools in rural and regional Australia. But what do you care? You don't care less. You do not care less. We had 6 years of mess, 6 years of economic disaster. We're getting on with the job of fixing it. We're getting on with the job of fixing it on behalf of rural and regional Australia, people who have given us the confidence, entrusted us with the job of fixing up your mess. We will do it. We will do it methodically, we will do it with calmness, and we will do it on behalf of future generations. Thank you, Deputy Speaker.